Hi everybody, this is Kevin and welcome back to another comic book review. Doing another double feature here, taking a look at Nocterra number 1 and number 2, which is from Image Comics, written by Scott Snyder with artwork by Tony Daniel. And I had heard about this like a year ago, I think. They were doing a Kickstarter for the first issue here, I guess a director's cut for like 25 bucks or whatever. But they had mentioned the fact that it was also going to be an Image comic. And I guess if you got the Kickstarter, you maybe would have got it earlier, but I'm like, I'll check out the regular floppy when it comes out. And I was pretty impressed. I read the first one, and it was good, and then I was like, do I want to do a review? I'll wait for the second one. And when the second one came out, just recently read it, I thought it was a very solid series. The main character here, Val, looks pretty hot. I mean, look at her. She's got some boba, nice outfit going on. And it's sort of like a post-apocalyptic future where, basically the sun has been blocked out. Bill Gates has succeeded in his plan of blocking out the sun for the sake of global warming and climate change. And people have become infected and they're turned into like these evil monsters. And overall, it's a pretty good series. And I mentioned when I did my review of Geiger from Image Comics that it's good to finally see other books out there. And it's kind of daunting to check out books that have been going on. They're like in the 20s or 30s, or in another case, Spawn in the issue 300s. And I don't really even like Spawn. And so it's good to see number ones again and to dive into them as opposed to jumping into a story that's like 20 or 30 issues already in the making. So this I can definitely recommend. We'll dive right into it. It starts out with the good old days of young Val here as a young girl for family and her brother Emery. And then the sun goes out. And this is the future, and she drives like this big rig. It's sort of like a Mad Max future, and she's what's known as the ferryman, or ferrywoman, I guess, transporting all these people around while avoiding these monsters that come out in the night. And I guess it kind of reminds me of that movie, what the hell was it called? With Emily Blunt, Quiet Place, that's what it was called, except you gotta be quiet when all the monsters come in. This, you gotta, lighten things up. And so they're firing away, making their way to safe passage. You see they're like these alien creatures. That's sort of like the alien from Alien Covenant. And what they reveal is that they're actually humans and animals and sort of these things who are infected by the darkness. And you see like, it kind of looks like a pterodactyl there, right? And they make their way to safe passage here to one of the outposts. Everything's all bright. And, they're just getting by. They're surviving with all these unsavory looking characters, and basically, her brother Emery has sort of been infected, and he's got to watch out. What happens is once you get infected, your teeth go first, like your gums succumb to the disease, and then you start losing limbs, and then eventually you turn into one of those alien creatures. And see how she's inspecting her brother's gums there, like, oh, we got to go quick, we got to find a solution to this. We can't have you turn into one of those aliens. And then they find this old dude here who's like, I need you to take passage with me and my granddaughter. We got to get here to escape. And they're like, all right, well, how much you paying? And they make their way out. Then you meet the villain here. What the hell is his name? I forget already. Blacktop Bill. And you don't really see his face. He's just a shadowy figure. And you're led to believe he could possibly be infected or have some sort of superpower. Who knows? He burns this guy's face off, and he's looking for the old man that Val just is transporting. And so, to be continued, the Neon Grove. And here's the creators here. Scott Snyder working with DC, Tony Daniel, artist for Batman and stuff, and Tomei Mori, I believe, is the colorist for Jorge Jimenez with Batman right now. So, pretty good stuff. And then I picked up number 2 here. Same thing. They're beginning their journey here through all these monsters, and just the designs are really cool. The artist, Tony Daniel, is great. Like I said, the main character, Val, is sexy. It's always a plus when you see a lot of these SJW characters who are just flat-chested and looking like Captain Marvel, and you actually see one that looks good for once. It's a beautiful thing. So the doctor, the old man here, he reveals that if they get to the place where he wants to go, they can possibly save her brother and have an antidote to all this treachery. You can see his hands starting to go. And this woman who's at the outpost calls Val and says that Blacktop Bill's on his way, And so she pulls the gun on him and is like, well, who's following us and why? And here comes Blacktop Bill with his monster trucks and all his henchmen. And he's talking to her on the phone now saying, you got to surrender the dude or else. And then she's talking to him and saying, well, is it really true? Can you help my brother? And he's like, yes, we have to get there quickly. And boom, it ends with her having an explosion and to be continued. They're on the run. And thank you from these guys, I guess. You know, it's good to see issue 1 sold pretty well, and I recommend it. I definitely do. Like I said, I heard about it with the Kickstarter, and I said, you know, I've been burned on so many of the independent Comicsgate books. I wasn't about to shell out $25, so when I saw this on the shelf, I said, let me check it out. I was impressed with issue 1. I was also impressed with issue 2. Character looks great. The artwork's great. Story's good so far, and I recommend it. And it's always good to jump onto these new series when they start with a number 1, as opposed to, like, or was it's an Undiscovered Country at the back here. This is another Scott Snyder book that I think is on, like, issue, well, there you go, volume 2. So there are at least 12 issues into that series. So I'm not about to jump into that one, but I will jump into this. But anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and stay tuned for more comic book reviews coming soon. Have a great day, everybody.